there is a lot of concealed carriers out there, and I think that's great news. Every year, more and more people join the concealed carry force that we have here in America. But this also means that there's millions of people walking around carrying guns that lack situational awareness, because if you're going to carry a gun, you need to master situational awareness. And there's so many aspects of situational awareness that people just don't even think about. And that makes you unaware. Most people in America walk around this country with their face in their phones. And this is not for concealed carriers. This is definitely the thing we have to get rid of. So I want to take a moment and talk about 5 things that you can do to master situational awareness as a concealed carrier here in America. Number 1, know where you are. This may sound like a no-brainer, but know where you are. At any point, never need to look at Google and go, well, where am I? If you had to call 911, you'd be able to spout out that address like that. Like, never be in a situation where you just don't know where you are. I understand that people get off on wrong exits and that sort of thing happens. But there's something that I always told my children when we would spend time in New York City, because I helped open a charter school there and spend a good amount of time there for various reasons, have friends there. My kids like to visit there, so oftentimes I take them with me when I work there. And I always tell them, don't ever just go do something. Like, always have a plan. Like, I'm going to go to this place, and here's the path I'm going to take. And I'm not going to change. Like, I'm not going to get halfway there and go, oh, look, there's this other thing. Let me go do this thing now. Just stick to the plan and then come back. And having a plan as you move around the world, anytime you open that door and you have that gun strapped on and you walk out, you shouldn't just be wandering about the world. You should have a plan everywhere you go, and at no point be confused on where it is you are. This also leads you to cause problems with other aspects we're going to talk about here as well. But always know, like, when I'm guilty of that too, there's times, like, take concealed carrying aside, all reasons. I had a heart condition last year, and there were a few times I was staying at Airbnbs, and I even thought to myself, I don't know what the address is. If I had to call 911, I don't know where I am. Don't ever be in that situation, especially when you're carrying a gun. Number 2, always walk around in a state of relaxed awareness. And really what I mean by this is, some people would refer to this as condition yellow, where you're not like running and just hiding behind walls and looking around and kind of got your hand on it. Like, not like that. I mean, just a relaxed state of awareness, where you are aware of everything around you, and you should at every point be able to know what humans are around you within 10 yards. Now, I'm going to kind of go back to New York City on this one again. When I would walk down the street in New York City, and I do this when I'm in Kansas City, anytime I'm in an area where I'm just not feeling it, like it just doesn't feel all that safe, I literally will look behind me regularly, at least 2 or 3 times a minute as I walk down the street. Sometimes I'll be walking down the street and I'll just do a complete circle as I walk down. That lets the people know behind me know I know you're there. And it's not just knowing who's around, but having a state of relaxed awareness of the situations you're in also means that you know where the exits are. You know where barriers are. You know where the bad guy might come from. Like, you're kind of aware of the scene. You're aware of the people around you. All of that. And it's something that we just have to remind ourselves. That's why this is just one step. Remind yourself daily, I need to be walking around the world in a state of situational awareness, in a state of condition yellow, in a state of relaxed awareness, because you need to not just be in that state, but you also need to look like you're in that state. When you look like you're aware and you're looking around and you're doing circles when you look around, you're not being targeted. Violent attacks are going to usually be targeted against people who are looking at their phone, completely ignorant of what's going on around them. That's why they're targeted that way. So always be in a state of relaxed awareness. Number 3, you need to trust your God-given discernment. And there's moments in time where things just don't look right. They just don't look right. You need to trust that. You need to trust that because they're not right. Something's not right. Call it spidey senses, call it discernment, call it just trusting your gut. Whatever that is, you need to trust that thing. And I think we deny ourselves of that as humans. You know, you need to trust that thing. There's a saying that we always had on our security teams when I would work in schools is we refer to people as JDLRs. They just don't look right. It's something about them. It's just something's off. You need to, when you see JDLRs out in the world, you need to trust it and you need to stay away from them. When you see situations that just doesn't look right, you know, if you're walking down the street and there's a turn and you're like, that doesn't look right, I don't want to go that way. Don't go that way. Trust it. And this is a fault that I believe most people make is they don't trust the discernment, the God-given gift of discernment. They don't even trust it. Trust it. Don't make that mistake. It's a critical piece of being a very safe and effective concealed carrier in the world is trusting the God-given discernment that he gives you. If something just doesn't look right, it's not right. Trust that. Number 4, beware of observed safety. And what I mean by this is it looks safe, but it's not. There's a lot of places like that out there, and you need to be aware of that. And this goes back all the way back to what I said before, which is always have a plan on where you're going. Never go somewhere where you don't know where you are at any point. And this beware of observed safety is an example I'll give you is here in Kansas City, we have an area called the Country Club Plaza. It's beautiful, it's fancy. You want an expensive dinner, you can find it there. You want to go buy shiny things that are expensive, you can find it there. And it's all beautiful and shiny, all of it. But it's a very dangerous area. Sorry for those of you that love the plaza, but it is. It's something, you know, I used to live down there. I used to live on the west side of the plaza, and you don't want to go wandering around there at night. You don't want to find yourself like it looks safe, but it's not. And there's a lot of places in the world where you just like, oh, it's so pretty. How could it be dangerous? But yet it is. So beware of observed safety. Be in that state of condition yellow even when it looks very safe. Beware of observed safety. And finally, number 5, and this isn't obviously a final list. This is just so you do these 5 things as a concealed carrier, you're going to be doing a lot better than most. Number 5, don't be in the wrong place at the wrong time or with the wrong people. Just don't do it. You know, you wouldn't want to be in the middle of a dangerous part of the city at 2 a.m. You wouldn't want to. Why would you do that? But yet we put ourselves in situations like that. Like, why do we do that to ourselves? You need to stop doing that to yourself. Like, don't be in a situation where it's 2 a.m. and you got to pull over in a terrible neighborhood and pump gas. Don't be in a situation where you let a friend talk you into giving you a ride somewhere and now you're sitting in a dark alley waiting for him to come back out. Like, don't put yourself in those situations. You know, it sounds like a no-brainer, but don't be in the wrong places at the wrong times. You know, my children that have moved to cities, I always tell them it's not really that the city's dangerous. It's just if you avoid people that are dangerous and you avoid places that are dangerous at times that are dangerous, you're probably not going to have any problems at all. Most people that fall victim to violent crimes are in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people. And all of this can be avoided by just simply being wise about where it is you go. So, you know, as you strap that gun on, I believe it's incredibly important to always know where you are. Always be in a state of relaxed awareness and look it. Let people know you're aware. Let them know you're aware. If something doesn't look right, it's not right. Trust that. Beware of observed safety. Just because it looks safe, don't come out of that situational awareness, that condition yellow. And finally, number 5, don't go to the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people. Simple as that. You do those 5 things. I believe anybody, whether you're carrying a gun or not, you're going to be safer. But if you have a gun and you're ignoring these things, chances are you're going to be a victim and somebody's going to take your gun. So there you go. Master the art of situational awareness. I believe these are things that we can all do, but you have to just remind yourself of these things. When you strap that gun on, remind yourself of these things, and you'll do great. Any thoughts or insight on any of this, definitely put it below. I do want to take a moment and say most people watch the channel, hey, they're not subscribers, click that subscribe button. Greatly increases the algorithm and our ability to get these messages out. That link is below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests. Please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.